Hello and welcome to another monthly money reset. I have officially completed another month living in Hawaii, which is unbelievable. I don't think I'm ready to go yet, but one more month down means only one more month of $1,000 grocery bills. So there's a positive, but we will talk about that more later. I'm actually so excited to be sitting down and making this video. I love going over my budget for the month. I love capping it off, all with a nice little bow and feeling like I've got a plan moving into the next month. And it is such a beautiful day outside. It rains a lot in the town that I live in, but none of that today. Like, it's fully clear skies, 80-degree weather, palm trees blowing in the wind. This is a nice day to sit down and do our budgets together. If you're new to these videos, I'm so happy to have you. Hello, I'm Kayla. I'm 25. I will be 26 in 12 days, and that is absolutely mind-blowing to think that I will be closer to 30 than 20. Haven't fully processed it, but that is for another video. I'm currently working as a travel physical therapist, and I've got 5 weeks left on my contract here in Hawaii. I post lots of lifestyle content, mostly focused around how I try to live a more intentional life and just how I try to do more than survive. Like, I want to thrive. I want to have a great life, and that's what I post about, as well as personal finance content with videos like this one. And my goal for these videos are just for them to be no more than a chat. I want it to feel like what it would if you and your good friend, which is me, we're sitting down and going over their budgets. And yeah, without all the awkwardness that usually comes along with sharing your personal finances. So first thing we'll look at today is my August budget and see where I spent my money. And then we'll sit down and reflect a little bit on that, and I'll just kind of share how I'm feeling about money this month and try to set some intentions moving into the next month. And then we can set up my September budget. So let's go ahead and look at August. Okay, hello August. This is my current monthly budget template, and it has not changed much since last month. I'm digging the brown. I love the little progress bars that I have. Green means I'm over my goal or hit my goal. Yellow means I'm right on track, and then red means I went over. And as we can see, there's very minimal red in this budget. Like, I'm proud of myself. August was a pretty good month. First thing that I do when I'm reviewing the month is I look at my overview tab, because that has my start balance right at the top. I am not at all a zero-based budgeter. My rollover usually includes my rent for the coming month, which right now is $1,100, and then I just like to have like a little $600 cushion. I don't know why. I made it up. That's where my number comes from. But going into August, I had like $1,945 that I brought in. Yeah, so a little bit over my $1,700 goal. Then I scroll down to income. Okay, this number is all types of inflated. First of all, I budget for the lowest possible number, which I learned last month. So I am guaranteed 36 hours as a traveler. I was budgeting for 40-hour weeks at first, but I just don't always get them. And so I learned this month, budget for 36, and that's why most of my paychecks were not below what I thought they would be. The ones that are yellow were because I had a sick day or because I took a day off that I forgot to account for. The other inflating thing that's on here is the miscellaneous. If you watch my monthly money reset last month, then you know that I brought over my money from my 401k with my previous employer and moved it into a Roth IRA. And I didn't know how else to account for it. So I put it in as income, but it's not like really income. So it says that I made almost $11,000 this month, but if we take off the Roth IRA, then it's more like $8,000, I think. And then also this month was a 5 paycheck month, but the 5th paycheck came today, August 30th. So all of that money is going to be used for September. But yeah, so that's where my income came from this month. Then I scroll over to expenses. I really struggled last month with trying to adjust to the expenses of Hawaii, and like groceries are so expensive here, and I felt like it all just kind of hit me like a Mack truck. But I got things a little more under control this month. So let's talk about where my money went. For groceries, I budgeted $1,000 because last month I spent $1,800, but we made it all the way down to $800 this month. I feel like I should be excited about that number. It's yellow, but $800 is still so much. And for anyone who wants to come at me about Hawaii groceries, I'm gonna put a little fact on the screen because I've been looking it up and I've been like, is it me? Am I the problem? Am I spending too much money on groceries? But like, no, Hawaii groceries are expensive. My strawberries were like $8 a pound, which are just something I'm not gonna even buy anymore, honestly. I've got a month left, like I can live without strawberries. That's insane. And getting under the 1,000 number was not easy. Like, I worked really hard to bring my grocery bill down this month, and for it to still be 800 is unfathomable. I made sure to plan out all my dinners for each week, and I made sure that we had at least 3 meatless days. So we ate out one day, we had leftovers one day, and then there was at least a day with just like breakfast for dinner or spaghetti or something. And I keep saying we, but I know I haven't even said who we is. So I'm talking about me and Devin, my boyfriend. We've been dating for over 7 years. We live together, so he's here in Hawaii and he is a part of my grocery bill. If you look at any of my other videos, he'll probably make some sort of appearance in those. And yeah, that's we. That's me and Devin. And that's what we did to try to bring down our grocery bill this month, but it was still almost $800. Eating out, that was Devin's responsibility. We tried to split it up where like I do groceries and he does eating out. So the money I spent really was just for like little snacks that I got. And I think we're honestly gonna do next month a little bit different because he got the better end of that stick. Eating out has been way less than our grocery bills. Okay, so for gas, it was a little bit higher this month than last month because we did take a trip to the other side of the island. So I live on Hilo side of Big Island. That's more on like the east part. So we drove over to Kona side, which is on the west and a lot more touristy. If people come to Big Island, I think a lot of people are usually coming to Kona. We saw a nice beach there and it took a little bit more gas. Health and beauty, that is one of the only categories I went over on. Honestly, that's because I took more time to itemize things this month for health and beauty. Like when I went to the store and I was getting lotion or like toothpaste, I was like, this should go in health and beauty because I didn't want my grocery bill to be so freaking high. So some of that is just itemization that I'm not used to doing. And then the other parts of that are I got some new skincare products this month. And honestly, I feel like they're working. Like I feel like my skin looks really nice. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you have any recommendations because I'm very new to this whole skincare journey. So please drop any recommendations in the comments. Social, I actually went to CrossFit with my Bumble friend Olivia yesterday and I was supposed to have to pay like $30, but they actually didn't charge me because it was my first day and CrossFit memberships are freaking expensive. I so enjoyed it, but if you do CrossFit, you know what I'm talking about. Apparently they get up to like $250. I do not have intentions on paying for the month. I also no longer have proof that I met a friend here, but yeah, it was fun. I think I'll go back for a couple of other drop-in sessions, but yeah, that was so much fun. Gifts, I told myself I wasn't gonna spend anything this month on gifts because I spent so much money last month on them, but my little sister is having a baby in less than a month now and I hadn't gotten her a gift. So I did go ahead and grab her like a little personalized swaddle blanket and a little hat for baby so she can use that when he comes and she takes like his first pictures and stuff. So that was a good gift. Like that was a good reason to spend some money in that category. I've got savings and subscriptions and bills and other boxes, so I'll hit those later. Doodads are just what I call things that I buy that are fully for me, like fun money. Like I just got it for fun. I didn't need it. I just got it because I wanted it. That has been out of control in some of the previous months, but this month it was quite tame. She was very demure, very mindful, you know? She was doing what she needed to do on Doodad. But yeah, not too much fun money spent this month. I'm trying to find a good balance between like not spending money on things that don't matter and also just feeling deprived because I didn't buy much for myself and I felt that. Like I was like, all this money is flying out, but what did I get for me? Miscellaneous is just other things that I buy, like things that I get that aren't for me necessarily, but I still had to get them. And this month it's only that high because of a $60 Amazon fee I have. I got a Sony ZV-1F camera for myself and then I watched a bunch of YouTube videos and I was like, no, the ZV-E10 is really what I want and I'm just gonna ship this back. And you will not believe how difficult the shipping process has been, but I did have to buy $60 worth of stamps and it still isn't shipped yet. But yeah, so that's what half of my miscellaneous is. The other half is just this nice umbrella that Devin and I got when we went to the beach on Kona side. Didn't spend any money on travel PT this month. And for content creation, I just had the 20-cent Etsy fee, which I guess is my monthly fee for Etsy. I didn't even know about it. I have this budget template linked down below and listed on Etsy if you're interested in getting it. And if you're looking for a new budget, honestly, Etsy is just such a nice place to look. There's so many budgets that are a lot more extensive than mine. If you would like something like that, I enjoy the simple, everything on one page situation. But yeah, if you're looking for a place to find a budget, Etsy is a great spot. Not much to report on subscriptions and bills as far as like changes. I actually ended up being even just like the slightest bit under for subscriptions and bills. That's why this part right here is yellow. Got my typical biggest bills and subscriptions that take from me, which are rent, the car payment for the car rental I have here in Hawaii, and then my student loan payment. Okay, moving over to savings. I feel like I did a good job this month. Last month, I was feeling really down on myself. I didn't get to save as much as I wanted. Obviously, my expenses were higher, so it just wasn't what I wanted, but this month went much better. Like there's lots of green bars, we did a good job, and I've got 3 sinking funds this month. So I'll talk about those first and kind of work like in reverse order from this. So sinking funds, and then I'll get into my other accounts. I first learned about sinking funds from watching Carter Sullivan's videos. I've got 3 creators that I love watching. Carter Sullivan, Zoe Pritchard, and then Smiley Citrus. I think her name is Ella. I love watching other personal finance videos and like just seeing how other people do what they do. And Carter uses sinking funds a lot. Before having them, the way I would take out money for things like Christmas or birthdays, or like if I were going on vacation, is it would all just come out of one big fund that I was calling my emergency fund, but it isn't really for emergencies if I'm using it for all these other things. So I like having that delineation. So now I feel like I really do truly have a fund that is just for emergencies. So just to chat about my sinking funds real quick, I set up a celebration sinking fund. So that one's gonna be for Christmas. And then I said my birthday is coming up here in September. So it'll be nice to have a little bit of money in there that I can pull from and not feel guilty like, oh, that money was supposed to be for something else. Like, no, that money is just for celebrating. And then I have a vacation sinking fund, which is gonna get drained here very, very soon. After I finish this contract on October 4th, Devin and I are gonna fly straight to Oahu before we head home. And that should be a really fun trip, but it's also gonna be a very expensive trip. I'm gonna make sure that I make some sort of vlog so that I can show you what we do there. All of that being said, I set aside $500. The plan for the trip is to spend like $1,500. So that's what that sinking fund is being poured into right now. I know I'm gonna take it straight back out, but I had the extra money this month, so I wanted to tell myself this is specifically for the vacation. And then the other sinking fund I have is a time off sinking fund, which is something that's important for me because as a traveler, my contracts are usually about 13 weeks. This one was 15 weeks, so it's a little bit longer. And then you have the option to extend. I just don't really plan to extend on like anywhere that I go. One of the biggest reasons I'm doing this is because I get to work 3 months and then I know I have a guaranteed break afterwards. Like it's such a nice thing to look forward to. That being said, there is no PTO for that break. Like it is just TO. I'm not going to be getting paid at all in the next like 2 weeks that I take off between these 2 contracts. And so I need to have some money set aside. And so that is what that time off sinking fund is for. I'm going to try to save pretty aggressively into it next month as well, because I've even thought about taking maybe 3 weeks off, but you know, the more time I take off, the more I need to have saved. So that's my time off sinking fund. And then I just have my other 4 accounts that I've talked about in other videos. There's my joint account that Devin and I both save into. We're hoping to buy some property here soon. And by soon, I mean like within the next 2 or 3 years, but we're saving up for that. Got my emergency fund, which is now strictly for emergencies. And I was able to save $830 into that one. And our investment account, really the only, excuse me, hair. Very rude. Really the only difference between that one and my Roth IRA is that it's money that I can take out whenever I want to. So with the Roth IRA, I really can't take any money out until I'm 59 and a half, or at least not tax-free. So it's taxed pretty heavily if I try to take out of it before then. And when I set it up last month, I said like, I'm having it there. It's something that I want to be there because I don't want my employer to have the money, but it's not something that I like I'm gonna be just pouring into every month. Yeah, the money that's in there this month is just what rolled straight over from my 401k. Nothing more, nothing less. But yeah, that's really it for the month of August. I'll scroll up so you can see all my charts up here. This is my cash flow breakdown. And it's so nice to see that I spent like 66% of my money on savings. It will not be like that every month, so I'm really just trying to like soak it all up right now. But yeah, that is all of August, all there is to see. So I'm gonna take some time to just reflect on that and try to use my thoughts on August to set some good goals for September. So if I had to describe my feelings about my spending this month in one word, I would call it deprived. Like I feel like I didn't get anything that I wanted to buy myself this month. I was just working so hard to try to keep my budget right, and I'm new to this whole budgeting and sharing it on YouTube thing, and I got a little bit of backlash after the last video and I was overspending, and I was just like, Kayla, like, you have to do better, make your budget better, you're gonna share it with people, you need to do a good job. And so I'm just kind of feeling stuck right now in between like not spending money on things that don't matter. Like my doodad spending was less, and then also just not making my whole life about how much money I'm spending. I think that what I'm gonna do to try to mitigate that moving into next month a little bit is just kind of focus on my overall expenses spend, because I really was only over for health and beauty and for gifts this month. And even when I went over for those, when it was happening, I was like, oh no, like there's gonna be a red bar. But if I were looking at my overall expenses, then I would have known like, oh, everybody relax. Like we're not over on expenses. So if I were making a goal about next month and how to not feel so much like that, I would just say give myself a little bit of grace. I feel like that's such a buzzword thing to say, and when I do reflections like this, I think it's something that I come up with often, like, oh, give yourself grace. And I don't know when the change happens between saying give yourself grace and then like actually giving yourself grace. I don't know, but I feel like the more that I ingrain it in myself and that I make it an important belief for myself, it's something that'll come a little bit easier for me. And then in terms of depriving myself, I'll just try to allow myself to spend what I budget for expense-wise. Like, I have a budget, it's okay to work within it. I budgeted that much for a reason. I'm also really just gonna pour into my time off and vacation sinking funds in September, because October is when I'm taking vacation and taking time off. And I know that it would make me feel good if I could like have that fully paid for, ready to go in September. But yeah, I don't really have like too many individual categories that I feel like I want to do better on this coming month. Like I said, I think August is about as perfect as a lot of those expenses are going to get. So I more just want to capture like the overall feeling of giving myself grace and allowing myself to spend within my budget. And that's just how I think I want to move into September, really, with that in my mind. All right, September is a fully blank slate right now. We don't have any graphs over here. She's all green, so let's spruce her up a little bit. I know that I'm moving into the month with 2161 because that's what I ended with this month in August. And I've got my income already set. $15.95 is about what I make if I work a 36-hour week. And then I've got the 1 week where I'm gonna have a day off because I take 1 day off every month. This month it's the day after my birthday. My birthday's on a Thursday, and I was just like, what's the point in taking a Thursday off when I have to come back Friday? So I took the Friday of my birthday week off, and I don't think I'm getting any other miscellaneous income. I really don't ever budget for miscellaneous or credit cards unless I know that I have something. Like in October when we get our security deposit back, I'll put that in as something that I budget for, but I don't expect to make any money off of my credit cards or budget like, oh, I usually get 20, or even put that in there because I just want it to be extra money that I have and not something that I depend on. Moving over to expenses. Last month I budgeted $1,000 for groceries. I said I want to bring it down. I only spent $800. So we're going to be big bold, and I think I'll budget $700 for groceries this month. Eating out, even though Devin's the one that takes over that mostly, just the fact that it's like a birthday month and I know that we're going to be prepping to leave this month, I'll go ahead and budget 100. Gas was about 100 this month, but we are planning to move around the island a little bit more this month. At first, we were really just exploring the beaches like right around our town. There's so many beaches, like 10 minutes from my house. But also I live on Big Island, like it's the biggest island in Hawaii. There are beaches all along the coast, and we want to make sure that we just explore all of them before we go because it's our last full month living here. So we're going to be doing more driving this month. I'm going to go ahead and budget $150 for gas this month, and hopefully I stay under that. Health and beauty was like, I think $150 last month, but I don't think that I'm going to get all the same skincare. I'll just budget $100. Hopefully that's it. Social. I have a new Bumble friend, and hopefully I meet many more new Bumble friends. So let's up it. Let's budget $50. I don't think I'm gonna buy any gifts this month. Nothing that's not coming out of a sinking fund. I put money away for my birthday, for Christmas. It'll come out of a sinking fund, so I'm not gonna budget any money for gifts. I'm gonna move down to doodads because savings and subs and bills have their own boxes as always. I budgeted like 100 last month, so I'll just stick to that 100 number. Miscellaneous, I budgeted 150. We won't change that. I won't have any travel PT expenses this month. Content creation is maybe going to be 20 cents, and I know that because of Etsy. And vacation. Okay. I know that I did in my reflection. I was like, I want to save money into my vacation sinking fund because I've got a trip in October. But I'm just thinking now, and if the trip is in October, we're definitely buying our flights and our Airbnb and everything in September. So that $500 is just going to be what I have saved. I know that we're budgeting for it to cost no more than $1,500 in total for each of us. So yeah, I'll budget $1,000 for the vacation, and then I've got the $500 in the sinking fund. So that should be enough there. Bills and subscriptions aren't changing too much this month. I'll go ahead and put $115 for the phone bill. My car insurance is going to go up. I've been sending my dad a portion of it, and I guess I'm just growing up, and he said it's time to go ahead and send him all of it. So yeah, $123 is my portion. I guess that's fair. I'm 26. I've had my dad paying for most of my car insurance for like ever since I first got a car. So yeah, I'm taking on all of that this month. Bills and subscriptions just continue to creep up like the more I adult, and it feels very symbolic and on cue that as I turn 26, they go up again. And then that's it. There aren't any other bills and subscriptions changes that I'm expecting, but savings, this one always takes me a minute to calculate. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in what I'm planning for each of these numbers, and then we can talk about them. Okay, did the math. It looks like after income plus the money that I brought in this month, and after I take out expenses and subscriptions and bills, I've got like $3,500 to save this month. So I'm gonna put just 1,000 into each of my big girl accounts, my not sinking fund accounts, and skipping my Roth IRA. And then for celebration sinking fund, I went ahead and put some money in there. Christmas is coming. I just want to finally feel like this year I've got a good chunk of money that I'm pulling from rather than just grabbing it all from my emergency fund. And then time off sinking fund. I put down $250. Hopefully I can put a little bit more in there. I know that I budgeted paychecks for 36-hour weeks, so hopefully I get more 40-hour weeks. And if I do, I will stuff that money into my time off sinking fund. This will put me at like $750 though, right? Because I put $500 in August and then $250 for September. That's not a bad place to be working off of, moving into a time where I have 2 or 3 weeks off. But yeah, that is everything budget-wise. Now I'm fully set for September. At least financially, I'm set. I've been trying to think about more videos that I want to put out in September, and I see lots of like fall vlog ideas, and it just doesn't look like fall here. So I do want to do some more things to like fall up the house and make it feel September-y. I might grab some little cheap pumpkins or something like that. But nonetheless, we are financially set for September. Thank you so much for being here with me and doing my budget with me. And I will see you very, very soon with another video.